All right, we're about to dive into the chaotic, completely ungrounded past of a technology we literally can't imagine living without. Get ready, because you're going to appreciate your light switch like never before.
So think about the last time you got really frustrated because your smart bulb wouldn't connect to the Wi-Fi. We've all been there, right? Well, back in 1890, the big complaint was a little different. My reading lamp just delivered a fatal electric shock. We complain about minor inconveniences, but our ancestors, they were playing Russian roulette just by trying to read a book.
You know, the fact that you're here right now, listening to this, perfectly safe, that's not just dumb luck. It's the result of what you could call a violent coincidence. Your very existence is built on this long, improbable line of survival. So, let's hit that rewind button. And I mean, let's go way back. We're gonna fly right past your parents, your grandparents, and just keep on going. We're zipping past the era of those big powdered wigs, which, by the way, could totally catch fire if you got too close to a candle. We're blowing past medieval times with all that uncomfortable chainmail, past the giant woolly mammoths of the Ice Age, and we're rewinding all the way back until we land right here. So, picture your distant ancestor. Their main concern for the day isn't a bad Wi-Fi signal. It's, not becoming lunch for something with very, very large teeth. That was the baseline for daily danger. And this quote just says it all, doesn't it? You are the end result of a long, unbroken line of people who stared down the absolute worst things they could invent and somehow managed not to die. Which brings us to one of the deadliest inventions they willingly brought right into their own homes. So, this brings us to the dawn of the electrical age. And let me tell you, it was incredibly lethal. See, electricity was the ultimate luxury, but there was one massive problem. Nobody, and I mean nobody, knew how to safely install it yet. It was the Wild West of wiring. I mean, think about all the stuff we just take for granted. Back then, nope. There were no building codes, no safety inspectors checking the work, no grounded outlets. That little third prong that can save your life didn't exist. And a lot of the time, not even the basic rubber insulation on the wires. It was a complete free-for-all. So what was the standard practice? Well, an electrician's brilliant idea was to take bare copper wires and just nail them directly to your flammable wooden walls. And for good measure, why not put them right next to your heavy velvet curtains? Just raw, unshielded electricity running through your house. What could possibly go wrong? Well, a lot could go wrong. And believe it or not, it gets so much worse when people try to mix this brand new, terrifying technology with the old tech they already had. Okay, get this. Wealthy homeowners, they didn't want to get rid of their fancy gas chandeliers, so they decided to retrofit them. And by that, I mean they jammed uninsulated electrical wires into the exact same metal pipes that were still pumping highly flammable gas. You can probably see where this is going. If one of those completely bare wires made a tiny spark against the metal pipe, boom, the whole chandelier would literally explode right in the middle of a dinner party. But the danger wasn't just in these spectacular explosions. It was hidden in the most simple, everyday acts, like just turning on a light. Early light switches weren't the safe, plastic-covered things we have today. Nah, they were often just exposed brass knobs. A simple, elegant, and, highly conductive piece of metal wired directly into the wall. So think about this for a second. What happens when you've just been washing your hands and you reach out with slightly damp fingers to turn off the kitchen light? Well, physics happens, and it happens fast. You instantly become the path of least resistance. That electricity, it's looking for the fastest way to the ground, and it shoots through the water on your hand, through your body, and right into the floor. People were getting fatal shocks just trying to navigate their own homes. So let's bring this all back to today. Let's talk about your safe, predictable, and miraculously boring home. And trust me, boring is a good thing. Just look at this. The number of people who died from touching a light switch back then, alarmingly high. It was a frequent cause of death. Today, it's virtually zero. And that is not an accident. That's the result of codes, standards, and a lot of painful trial and error. So here's the takeaway. The next time you get mildly annoyed that a breaker tripped, just take a second. Your safe, boring, up-to-code house is a hard-won miracle. It's exactly what generations of your ancestors survived all those terrifying, explosive, and shocking daily dangers for. And that leaves us with one final thought. Every generation thinks its technology is the absolute peak of safety and sophistication, right? So, what are we using right now, every single day, that our great-grandchildren will look back on and think is a completely insane, ungrounded death trap?